Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is now time for the best real estate podcast online. It is time for Lakeway Area Real Estate Talk Live with Mike and Dave Elkins, presented by Elite Realty Group. So here's what we're going to talk about. Three big things. Let's get this going here. Three big things that home buyers are looking for when they are looking for a new home. Okay, we're going to talk about those three things today. Now, here's what we know. Again, we've told you this for 20 weeks right now. If you're selling a house, now's a good time to be doing that.
It's
right?
the time.
It is a great time to be doing that. But there are some things that sometimes are a little bit more important than other things.
Yes, they are.
That people, home buyers, people that are potential home buyers for your house, they're going to look at. We're going to give you those three big things today. Not necessarily that they're big in size, but it is big when it comes to getting your house sold, getting the marketing done, getting the pictures done. These are some big things. So let's talk about number one. Three big things home buyers are looking for in their new home. Here's number one, and let's me and you talk about this and we'll give this out. You may want to write this down if you or somebody you know may be selling a house here in the near future. But here's number one. Curb appeal.
Curb appeal.
When you're looking at one of the big things we find buyers tell us, home sellers tell us, when you look at one of the things that people look at when they're going to buy a home is the curb appeal, meaning when they pull up to the house,
that's right.
What does it look like, right?
Well, if it don't look right on the outside, I've always heard the comment, if it's not right on the outside, what's it going to look like on the inside?
Yeah, it scares off a whole lot of people. It really does scare off a whole lot of people because remember, they're pulling up to your house and they're making judgments the whole time they're coming in. You know, whether that be a subdivision out in the country, up the dirt road, around a steep curve, which I know that you can't control.
That's right.
But again, they're looking at those things and saying, hey, am I going to make the decision to buy this house off that? Now, if the surroundings around you aren't good, which again, you can't help, you better make sure everything at your house is good, right?
That's
you better make sure, even if you've got good surroundings, that you've got great curb appeal. Have you, let's go with this, have you ever took some people out showing them houses, pulled up to the house, and they never got out of the car because of the curb appeal?
That, honestly, is sad to say, but it's true.
Right.
I've pulled up in the driveway, and they have looked and don't know that we want to get out. And I hate that for the seller.
Sure.
Because usually we've always scheduled an appointment. Yeah, we've already scheduled an appointment. Sometimes the sellers, if they live there, they've left.
Right.
And then to say, you know, you're not even going to get out. But sad to say, it's true, because if the outside don't look right, a lot of people will never go through the door.
That's true. So again, that's one of the big things. Remember, they're pulling up thinking, do I want to go in? Is this inviting? Does this look right? Does this feel right? Can I see my kids playing in this yard? Is it safe to let them out in? So on and so forth. So curb appeal is a big thing. Now, what's some things that, again, you're out showing property a whole lot more than I ever would think about it. But what are some things that you see that people could do to spruce up that curb appeal?
Well, first thing is clean anything that don't need to be on the porch or the entryway. Clear it. Get rid of it. Sweep it. Blow the leaves away. You know, if you can, get you a flower pot and sit by the door.
Color's good.
Yes.
Color's good.
A lot of times people will just when they put their house on the market, they just kind of spruce up a little bit around the front door. I mean, you could paint the front door.
Oh, yeah.
You could paint that, just make it look fresh. If you do need to touch up anything around the windows, I mean, clean the windows. Clean them.
Yeah.
Sometimes mine have a lot of cobwebs in it.
Right.
But clean your windows. Declutter everything on the front porch. Definitely, you know, blow the leaves away. Just make it a little bit appealing for you. Go out and pull up in your own driveway.
Oh, yeah.
And you look.
Right.
And
see what you see.
Yeah, see what you see.
Yeah.
And what you see, you think, I better get rid of that. You better get rid of it.
Absolutely. Power washing, trimming the shrubs, putting a little bit of color out. You know, again, set it in a potted plant, a little bit of color. You would be surprised at what people tell us was the reasons why they bought the house. And a lot of times, again, it's this curb appeal. Man, when I pulled into the driveway, I could see myself living in this house.
That's right.
The outside sold the inside.
That's exactly
It was so easy for that to happen. Again, curb appeal being a big thing, and we try our best to let people know how important this is. So, when you're looking at, again, selling your house, whether that be now or in the future, now's a great time, or somebody, pass this info along to them, because again, it is true, and you just alluded to it. There have been times that you pull in the driveway and it doesn't even happen.
It don't happen.
You never get to the inside. And you may have just the most beautiful inside ever was, but they're like, I can't see my kids playing here.
That's exactly right.
I can't see my family. I just can't see it because, again, of these things. So that is a big thing that home buyers look at. And I think that's way, because, again, when they actually arrive at the house, that's the first thing they see.
That's right.
And what is those saying? You can never go back and make a first impression.
That's exactly right. And a lot of times whenever you then have to, as for a realtor standpoint, whenever you do have to call back and tell the other agent that, we actually didn't go in the house and look because of, and it could be something that could have been taken care of.
Right.
And it just makes you, it kind of hurts you because for the sellers. And like I said, if you just, and as a realtor then, you need to go over that with your people and tell them this is what needs to be done and make them understand that, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it.
Absolutely. And again, just good advice. Remember, these are always just our opinions, right? These are things we see. We try to bring you each and every week here on this show just good information, sometimes common sense stuff.
Absolutely.
That you just get wrapped up looking at it, and you don't even think about those kind of things, but it can have such a big impact on, again, you getting your house sold or not sold, you attracting that buyer or you not attracting that buyer. So that's number one, curb appeal. It's a big thing. Sweep your porch, blow the leaves, trim your shrubs, set you a potted plant out there, clean your front door, paint your front door, clean the windows. Those are just a few little things. And you know what? Other than buying you a potted plant, don't cost you $1 to do that.
Don't cost you nothing.
Take you 5 minutes, sweep your porch off, and it's a big thing for you to do that. So that's number one, curb appeal. And the number two thing we see that buyers look for in their new home that they're purchasing, and if you ain't got this, there ain't a whole lot of reason you can do anything about it. You can, but we might get there and we might not. But the number two thing that they look for is space. They're looking for space. Now, let's break this down elementary here just for a minute. When you look at why people move, right, we got to kind of go back to why do people buy houses?
Right.
They buy it for a couple of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons we see people buy a house is they need more space.
They need more space.
They're moving up. They're moving out of a condo, out of an apartment. Maybe they're moving from their first time, the house that they bought, first time house. They're moving up, or they're moving up from a mid-level house. Very rarely, it does happen, but very rarely do we see people go down in size.
Sometimes they say they want to go down, but when they start looking, it's like, okay, I don't know, so very seldom they ever go down.
And when you think about it, going down in size, I couldn't go down in size right now.
I couldn't either.
I mean, I could in square footage, and live there. Like if I was just talking about living.
Right.
But if I had to downsize and take my stuff with me,
no way.
There's no way. I mean, I need a bigger house right now for that. Not to live in, but to store my junk. Yeah. Most people out there are like that. Whatever size house, you fill it up. You just fill it up with your stuff. I shouldn't call it junk. With your stuff. So again, but when people are moving, most of the time they're moving up because they got so much stuff, they need more space.
Right.
Now, let's talk about that just for a minute. Do you see when you're taking them out, are they looking at how big the bedrooms are and how big the bathrooms are and the living room? What do they look at?
Yeah, actually, just Monday, as a matter of fact, drove to La Follette to show a house. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the folks said, okay, well, I've got to make sure that my bed fits in here. I've got a king-size bed. So they literally were trying to measure the room, walk it off, all that. But the thing about it is, space-wise, I mean, you can't make it any bigger than what it is. Right. But a lot of times, if you'll just maybe move some of the stuff that you've got in the house that you're not using. That's when we'll say you need to maybe declutter a little bit.
Absolutely.
Something like that makes the room look bigger.
Right.
And I mean, counter space looks like, man, this kitchen's big. You know, if you take everything off the counter, except maybe what you absolutely have to have or whatever.
Good information.
But just, you know, clear off some stuff. And I've actually showed houses before, and they'll say, how many square feet is that? And I'll say, it's 1,400. And they'll say, man, it looks a lot bigger.
Right.
And you can make it look bigger.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how, talk to your realtor.
Absolutely.
She'll give you some advice.
And again, he or she, you got to put that in there, right? He or she will give that information to you. But what you got to see is again, most of the time people are going to buy your house because of some space. They're looking for that space. We know that they're looking for this. So Dave's talked about this before on the show, you know, just tidying up some. As you mentioned, decluttering a little bit, you know.
Yep.
If you need to, if your closets are running over like mine. Go buy some totes. Put you know, we're in a dead winter. Lord, it ain't it cold outside.
Yes, it is.
Man, it's cold outside. But we're in a winter right now. Put your summer stuff. Put your flip-flop. Put your shorts. Put your summer clothes. Put those short sleeve shirts that you can't even wear right now if you wanted to. Put them in a tote and put them away somewhere. You're going to move, folks. Go ahead and put it in storage. That wouldn't hurt you, right? We've went through the first three things we're giving you today about what home buyers look for in their new home. Second drink, by the way, Dave. You watching that? Second drink right there. So curb appeal is the first one. Space is the second one. Again, do some things in your house, what we're trying to tell you. They're looking to see if they can fit.
Yes.
All right? If they can't come out of where they are and fit, you're in trouble before you get started. Most of the time, they're not going to buy a place that their family cannot fit. Those are the first two. And the last one today that we see people look for when their home buyers look for in their new home are updates. Updates.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying you have to have the latest, greatest of whatever. Kitchen cabinets, hardwood floors, appliances. That's not what I'm saying. But when you going out showing property, would you agree that updates are kind of a big thing?
Yeah, it is a big thing. A lot of people, you know, can't do it. I mean, their house is just what it is. But you can yet kind of update it, give it a new facelift or whatever. And
Right.
you can do a lot of little things. Sometimes people, you know, if they have their appliances, I mean, if you do have different color appliances, maybe at least you could switch them out. Even if you have to buy a used one, put it in there. They all look the same color. That kind of makes it look a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, sometimes even as I've seen people do a countertop, it changes the whole kitchen's look. You don't have to change cabinets.
Right.
Or the hardware on your cabinets.
Yeah.
I mean, put new knobs
Little
on them.
things.
Just little things that don't cost a lot. And the big things that I will tell you is definitely, if you're going to do anything, trying to make it look better, do it to the kitchen or to the bathroom.
There you go.
Those are the two things.
Kitchen and bathroom we see are big time.
Absolutely.
Big time. But again, they're looking for those updates. Again, we're not talking about this, you know, go take out everything. Throw out the slimy soap dish.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get new stuff that sits around there in that bathroom. You know, go buy you some polisher and polish your cabinets, whatever, just to make it again look like, hey, this ain't as bad. Because what they're doing, they're coming in looking, they're going to make sure it looks good on the outside, they're going to see if they can fit. And the third thing they're going to start looking at is, what am I going to have to come in here and do before I can actually sleep a night in this house?
Yep.
If they see a lot of updates, that hurts. I mean, it's just brutally honest, but it hurts. So again, things that you can do to make your home, again, seem, look what it is, those are just, again, and you don't have to spend $1 million to do it.
No, you don't.
You don't have to spend $1 million to do it. So again, that's three things. That's some good real estate information today we wanted to give you. We've talked about 3 things home buyers look for when looking for the new home. We thank each and every one of you for listening to today's podcast. Tune in for future episodes by subscribing to our channel and get the latest and greatest real estate information right here on Lakeway Area Real Estate Talk Live, presented by Elite Realty Group. Until next time, have a great and blessed day.